Well, I'm alive right now. I'm still, if you're watching this video, by the way, congratulations. Congratulations, you are alive at the moment right now. If you're watching this video now, you are alive and experiencing something that almost everything in the, like, think about how profound it is that we are here now, having the conscious ability to embrace these concepts because we're still alive and drawing breath. Hey guys, Rex here. This video is going to be a brewski hour. I poured the fat tire into this glass and had a sip to make sure it was okay before I started the camera. I was thirsty. A brewski hour, which is a series we have on Patreon. I do brewski hours at least once a week, where we sit down and just visit about either whatever, whatever's going on, whatever good questions came in, life stuff, right? But in this one, we're going to talk about something kind of actually serious, okay? Had a question and don't know how to answer that one. Tried plotting it out, I got out my crayon and I tried like writing down like a plan of how to bring it up or how to talk about, 3 main points to learn or whatever. I don't know, man. It's, you can't cram this one into a little tiny box. And I could not possibly cover all aspects. So maybe the best I can do is to just sit here and drink this beer that I just poured here, right here at Fat Tire, see? Endorsed by Rex. And we could talk about it. And if the conversation assists anybody who's wrestling with this deal, punching it in the face, trying to win or whatever, that's awesome. So I'm in that club, So you have cancer, right? You have the cancer. I had a question in on Patreon saying, hey, Rex, I got stage 4 cancer. Followed by, hey, like, this sucks. What do you do? Like, this is, just not whining, but like kind of, looking for maybe a little compadre ship or whatever you would call that, right? Yeah, man, I tried that one out too. This is Rex Reviews, right? So like I review beer, I review optics using scientific methodologies. I could review this crayon if I wanted to. I can get cancer and then review that. Maybe I should write that one off. I'm still paying for that one. It's expensive to have cancer. That's my favorite part, is how expensive it is. It really brings perspective. Okay? So like, I tried that one out. I actually came out on top. Praise Yah, praise the Lord, praise God, right? And it's always a threat, even if you get past. It's like jumping over Bowser and Mario Brothers. It's kind of risky, like, okay, you got to get past here. And you might shrink into the smaller Mario, which is what happened to me. Actually, in concept, that's true, but physically, I doubled in size since then because of all the stuff that happens with chemical warfare when they hit you with it and all that. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh, and the Swiss cheese brain part 2, that happens. Calm down, you'll be fine. But we have to get past that deal, and it's risky, and maybe, maybe you get past, maybe you don't. I've had a lot of friends beside me at the same time I had mine that didn't do as good, right? Some of them did okay, and everyone takes it a different way, right? So let's talk about that deal. I don't know really how to plot that out as much. It's a goofy topic, awkward. Everyone's like, doesn't know how to approach it. So hell with that, we'll just talk about it. Well, cancer's not my favorite deal I ever did. However, in retrospect, for me, one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it gave me perspective. I learned a lot. I learned a bunch. You're going to learn a bunch too. Now, well, what if this happens is bad? What if this happens is good? Like blah, blah, blah. I get that part. Trust me, I was in that deal too. Like you wrestle with it, you're punching it in the face, you roll around at night thinking about like, oh man, the anxiety, the worrying part. That's the worst part. The worst part is the mental game, trying to fight your way through that part. And I've been like, just for context, and I'm not trying to say this for any other reasons, but I've been around a little bit in life before the cancer deal, right? And after, in terms of dangerous shit that could kill you and almost killed you and should have killed you, right? This cancer deal sucks in a different way because it's slow motion. You see it coming. You have plenty of time to work yourself up and think about it the whole time. And then you're always second guessing what exactly your move is. And the mental exhaustion part is the part that smokes most people, I think, when they get smoked in that deal. So how do you deal with that? Well, number one, and I learned this recently from a bro who helped me with other things, but like you got to plot this shit out scientifically. Funny, guy that's like into science for a job, right? Like I do like scientific quantification of optics and like do all this other stuff, and I like review beer and I review crayons or whatever I do, right? But when it comes to myself, it's way more difficult. And when it comes to you, you are attached to your emotions, man. That stuff is going to be like bucking like a horse. So you either have to disconnect it, the emotions, which I wouldn't totally recommend, or you can take the reins and steer the horse and say, whoa, Nelly, whoa, calm down. Calm down, Nelly. Whoa, easy, easy. Cool. Be cool, relax. Relax. Inventory and assess what you know to be facts. Okay, so if you're watching this video from the title, number one, I would imagine, okay, so you have cancer. That's a fact. Are you going to be able to make that not be the case or be the case by how much worrying the guy's going to do or a girl, right? Is worrying going to add 1 inch to your stature? Nope, that's not going to change nothing. In fact, it's going to be a negative because this deal is like the big scary cancer, trying to get you right. Like the more you worry, the bigger this thing grows. It's physiologically true too. If you look at the biology, stress is not helping. You don't need to exhaust your system any further, man. Like, don't make it worse. Don't use up all your valuable resources to like worry about stuff on top of it being there. So it's there. Okay. Okay, so would worrying make it better? It doesn't. It doesn't make it better. Physiologically, it doesn't ramp up your mental acuity so you can somehow outsmart all this stuff. It's there, man. So you can either choose. It's there. You can't choose that part. That's fixed. Boom. Done. Okay? Your choice that you actually can affect is I can be pissed or sad or whatever, bent out of shape about the fact that I got it and worrying, well, it's not fair. Like everyone else like doesn't get it and I'm too young for this shit or whatever. Like I didn't even get a chance to go to Disneyland yet, right? Yeah. So like you can either choose to do that on top of this deal already being there. That's there. This deal is here. The cancer deal is there 100%. It's going to be there. You can add this to the pile. Or B, that was A. How about B over here? B is you can choose a choice, like a switch, like a knob, like, you're calibrating the knob. You can choose that this ain't the worst deal ever. I'm going to make this a fun time. And the fun times never quit. Look at me. I got hundreds of stories. Dozens, okay, I exaggerate a little bit, but like probably 20, 30 stories of people I know that chose that path. Because once you're in this club, you start to notice more, and it's very common. Malignant neoplasms are very common. Like 1 out of 3 people in the United States get that stuff. So you're like not alone. And once you have it, you'll be hyper attuned to anyone else. You had it too? What'd you do? What happened? Did you make it? Did you die? If you did, why? Or whatever, right? So you can choose to be cool with it, or like, oh, okay, well, calm approach or fun approach. Sometimes it's easier to override all this crap and crank up this volume louder than this one, which is always an option, okay? You can always choose to be all bent out of shape about it. You can always choose that. Or if you crank this one up louder, which is something positive, like, case in point. And I can tell you about my own deal later, but there was a friend of mine. Well, I got a lot of friends, I guess, that have that deal. He's an alumni or alumnus from one of the shooting classes, brain cancer deal or whatever, right? And like, it messed him up. Like, he was Mr. In Shape, He-Man type guy for a long time and whatever. And then he became this like extremely huge guy. I can totally relate to that. That's what happened to me too, because it messes with your hormones and stuff, right? But like, he used it as catalyst, an accelerant for his life. He's like, well, this sucks, and he's still going, and they don't really have a cure for it yet. They're kind of trying to figure it out still on his, and so he's like, well, he's doing all kinds of cool stuff. He came out to hang out with us. He's like, you can make it into a good deal or a bad deal. Like, some people live their whole life just like, I eat my sandwich, and then I go to work, and then I get home from work, and I watch the soccer game, and then I sleep, and then I eat my sandwich and go to work and go to sleep, and then I eat my sandwich and go to work and sleep. That cycle for years, decades. The vast majority of the population is in that category. So this whole experience could be a catalyst to like, okay, whatever amount of time you got, whether it's like 5 minutes, you can have a lot of fun in 5 minutes. Good fun, not evil fun, okay? Or 5 years or 5 decades, I don't know. You can choose that that's going to be awesome. Live it up. Do stuff. You can live more, by the way, in a month than most people live in 10 years. So this whole time thing, you know, people quantify time, but like they're not qualifying what kind of time it is. So you choose what you do with your time, regardless of what the outcome is. Another person I knew grew up in this town, very small town. There's a guy who was just one of those really nice guys. He was Chester. Around the same time I was sick, he was kind of an older guy, big guy. He had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which is a little bit rough on a guy, you know. And so he went through one of his treatment deals and wasn't working out so good. And so they gave him the verdict, you know, like, oh, that's it. That's all she wrote, the verdict. You're checking out of here soon, like within a month or two, maybe a couple of weeks, don't know. Horrific, terrible, right? You'd think. You would never know by talking to him. That guy had more fun, I think, than I've seen him have before. I mean, he was walking around flattering the ladies, comedian, super lit, happy guy. Like, wow, I just realized what life is about. It's about people and making other people happy and other people feel cool and special. And so that was his whole spiel. Like, he was that guy in the room with something special going on. And then he checked out. That ain't all that there's to it in the universe, though, either. Remember that part, okay? You know, there's part 2. Oh, Rex, I don't think this is part 2. Okay, whatever. Just like when you beat Mario Brothers, like level 1, 2. Up, hit the flagpole, all done. Just throw the controller and walk out of the room. And now you're in the other, like, wait, that's not it. Calm down. Hold on a minute. Is there more levels to this? But that guy lived, man. That guy lived real good. And I got a lot of other stories like that of other friends. Same deal, right? I had a bunch of cousins, like I was in a band in the 90s, a rock band with 2 of the other guys in the band were my cousins. And they're a little bit older than me, but we're all pretty young, right? Still. And I would consider myself to have been young. I was in my 30s when I had my cancer. But that same time frame, all 3 of us all of a sudden got freaking cancer. Different kinds too. One of them had like Hodgkin's lymphoma. The other one had some kind of, I don't know if it was leukemia or something that spread around. And then I had my deal, which kind of was going all over into the, got into the belt buckle area. Then it got into the lymph nodes in the chest and the brain. They thought, so it's like, okay, well, that's exciting. We're all like, and it wasn't all at the exact same time. It was like back to back. Like my cousin had it first, and then I had mine, and then my other cousin had it right after me. Like, oh, what the hell kind of poison microphones they got around here? Like, because that was like 10 years or 15 years before that we're all in the band together. And we're like, oh, was it the recording studio or the rat poison in the corner with that? You always trying to figure out what the hell gave it to you, Nobody knows. We live in the most toxic age and environment in the planet, right? And you can't walk around worrying about that stuff too much. Like, really healthy people that live very clean that get the same damn thing, right? But, yeah, it's just one of them things that happens. Like, and without bitching about all the physical stuff that would happen, is it going to be easy? No. But nothing that's fun is easy. Think about it. Why do you play a video game? Because it's so damn easy? No, because it's fun. Why do you go and build stuff? Because it's easy? No. Why do you go on a adventure? An adventure is not super easy. That's why it's a good story afterwards, right? So it can be an excellent experience. Best piece of advice I ever had was just learning, hey, so you got it. That you can't change. You can either choose to be pissed or you can choose that this is a good thing. My aunt told me that, who had 3 back-to-back episodes with frickin' cancer. Just like, oh man, like they poisoned her, all her hair fall off, whatever they did surgery. And it came back with a vengeance and came back like again. If I got the story straight, forgive me if I got it wrong. If she sees this, I don't remember. But there's just so much of it around. It's like, oh, got hit by a bullet again. Well, yeah, you live in bullet land or whatever. That'll happen, right? Sorry about my, if you're new to the channel, no way. we do weird stuff here. We're in all kinds of guitars and shooting stuff and garages and beer and all that kind of stuff, talking about whatever there is. So you might need to get the decoder ring, which you have to watch the previous stuff to kind of see what we've been talking about. But in all honesty, my best advice is like, okay, here's some things you will learn that will be really awesome. You'll learn who your actual friends are. And you might trim off a lot of people you didn't realize, like, that was not productive. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I really don't. It's a very good thing to be able to lighten the load and refocus and reevaluate stuff in your life you never would have known you had to reevaluate. Stuff you believe, you will kick the tires on it. Oh yeah. Like, oh yeah. Uncle Bob told me about this religion stuff one time, but like, it's probably normal. And then you get like this freaking actual struggle in life. Oh boy, better probably double check. Better actually double check what Bob was saying about this. This might be important later, right? Yeah, you'll reevaluate that. You'll discover all kinds of new stuff just because it's a catalyst to motivate you to do it with real, actual reasons and motivations and consequences, right? You'll learn like there's going to be folks that you didn't realize are like really in your corner. No clue. People you never even maybe met yet that are in your corner. And then that'll be hugely advantageous at some point. And then there's going to be a lot of people who you might have been like wasting your time with. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but like you don't have to like, get rid of that dirty SOB. You can just adjust your focus more onto those, love those that are in your corner, love those that care about you. Love those that are truly in your tribe or your camp or your clique or truly within the sphere of caring about you, right? Yeah, I think that's productive. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's really good stuff. And if you Well, here's the other deal too. Before we get into that, you will realize, and people will never understand you after this if they haven't been through the same kind of deal. There's a common point I've noticed, because like I've had this in other categories, because like you get a different perspective on life when you almost check out, seriously. Like when it's very obvious you should have died. I've had that before, cancer, a few times. But this one is like even more, it was for me because it's like such a slow motion deal that you're like the sum total effect psychologically on you is going to be pretty heavy on that deal because it takes so long for it to do its thing, right? What you're going to find is the hugest bonus of everything in this experience, whether you're not going to make it or you'll make it but will be seriously maimed or will make it out clean with no consequences, like some cats do. I wasn't in that category. I thought I was at first, but then I wasn't. Some of that stuff is hard on the body, man. But like what you're going to realize, no matter what happens, anytime you get here, breathing is gravy. It's gold. 100%. Every breath you have on this planet is a freaking miracle. And you will never, ever know that until you know you only have a certain finite amount of them. And that's what will give you superpowers to live like you never lived before. You be a super freaking hero. You will like, I always wanted to be a violin player back in the day, but I never, only got a week. Better hurry up and learn that shit and do it, right? Or whatever. Or, like always kind of wanted to ask this question. You will, stuff that, roadblocks that you had before. Well, I don't want to bother so-and-so, or I don't want to look dumb, or I don't want to, hell with that. You don't got time for that. You don't got time to not do stuff with your life. And for anyone that has enough wisdom to hear what I'm saying, who isn't in this category of having the big scary C word, cancer, right? Like learn the lesson too, right? Guess what? You're going to check out. Piano's going to fall on you. You're going to die of old age. Your heart will explode. Or freaking, get in a car crash. Rex, you're being insensitive. Yeah, calm down. Okay? Or like you'll be in a war like they're doing over there and you get blown up by whatever. Or like a mountain lion will pop out of the bush and try to eat your face off. Or you'll be in a plane crash with some like musicians or some kind of terrible deal like this. Or what else can get you? Listen to the song 99 Ways to Die. There's only two things guaranteed in life, man. Death and taxes. Everyone like that, like, how can you not realize they're going to check out at some point? Did you realize we are mortal? Thermodynamic laws, man. Second law. All things tend towards entropy, disorder, chaos. This body falls apart. And so while you're here, what happens after is a whole different category of stuff, okay? But while you're here, figure out what your actual mission is and execute it like nobody's executed shit before. And if anyone thinks you're weird, they'll cut you a break. Because of what, I would do that if I was him too. You will like lose all that anxiety of like what other people think about me if I do this or that, right? Like if you want to go into the jacuzzi at the hotel room with some of your cats that are your buddies, and you're like big fat guy, you won't care. You'll just like take off your shirt like that. What's that freaking song with that Katy Perry song where there's the fat lady who wants to jump into the pool or whatever? Like, you just gotta ignite the light and let it shine like a firework. And then she like jumps in the pool and everyone's like, yay! And the water splashes out and then they're in Rome. I don't remember. Sorry, it's the beer, man. See, that's my other excuse. The beer made me do it. But like your whole perspective on life you'll lighten up a little bit, hopefully. Some people, and this makes me sad to see it. I wish I could visit with them I got like some kind of, I was cutting wood in here. And there's like little micro sliverines in the air, making me itchy. But, or is it? Is it my biologies? I'm having flashbacks, people. You'll have that too, by the way, if you ever had the cancer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, oh, I feel something in my elbow or shoulder, whatever this thing is right here. Oh, there it is. That'll happen. You'll get hypersensitive. Go check it out. Do your due diligence. But like what you're gonna find is you gotta live, man. You can't be worried about what other people think. It's the silliest thing I ever heard of in my life. Good story, huh, guys? Yeah. All right. Good talk. Good job, guys. Man, I'm a lightweight on this stuff. Oofta. I got 2 more to drink. Better talk more, huh? So, whether you're new to the club or you have a little bit of anxiety because you've had it before and you're still kind of worried, like you got another checkup, you're under surveillance, not CIA surveillance, black helicopters, but the worst kind where they're actually irradiating you all the time with more x-rays to give you more cancer probably, right? Oh, you're adding my anxiety, Rex. Well, the sun is x-raying you all day, every day. So calm down. You're not going to escape nature, man. What I'm basically saying is, I got all kinds of tools on my table here. What I'm basically saying is we all just need to simmer down and realize that us getting sad, us getting emotional, right? It's emotional, I get it. You got kids, you got the wife, you wonder, all this stuff. All that stuff is real, but here's the deal. Let's say you got people you love that are here and you're worried about them, okay? How awesome is it going to be for them that, like, whatever time you do have left, whether it be 50 years, 10 weeks, 10 minutes, you spent being miserable about it all. Or you can take the lesson from my friend Chester and a lot of other people that, hey, he knew he was cashing in. You know what that guy was worried about? He wasn't worried about himself or all the stuff he wanted to still do. He was going around, like, because he's mechanical, fixing his brother's farm equipment, like old guys, right? Gray hair and stuff. Like, oh man, like my brother really sucks at mechanics. I better like fix this U-joint or whatever. I better go fix that harrow on the tractor because like when I'm out of here, like he's going to be screwed. Like I'm the only guy in this whole family that knows about this mechanics. So he just like was like, what am I good at? How can I help everyone else? Do that. What are you good at? Don't got a lot of time? Okay. Nobody really has a lot of time in the vast scheme of things, but let's say your time is extra short. There was a small time there where that's what they told me it was looking like, and that kind of adjusted your brain a little bit, right? And that adjustment doesn't exactly go away. You just don't turn that shit off. Like it gets welded into place, like, oh, you're prime, yeah, here's your verdict, Rex. Like, oh my God. And then the flip like welds into place, apparently. But whatever time you got, like, what are you going to do with it? Be helpful. Be cheerful. Live like you never lived before, man. One way or the other. Good, bad, ugly, whatever your exact situation is, just, and this is for everybody, not just people in our little silly club. And by the way, you know, there's way too much like hyper reverence religious stuff for our club. Like, oh, we died from a certain thing. Oh, we're going to die from a certain exact thing. We're so, look at us like we're in this club, the things that killed us. Yeah, but how about every other single human ever in human history? What club are they in? They also died from other things. Oh, I died from, diabetes club or whatever the hell. Or, like, I understand the idea of like supporting each other and stuff, but my support is in the form of humor, comedy, and reality. Like, calm down, people. Don't get so like mighty and like elite. I'm dying from a certain thing, therefore I'm kind of like, you better have reverence for my situation, people. Everyone's dying. The sun is shooting out radiation. The earth is like degrading. It's just normal. So Let's all just keep this in perspective and use this as a learning opportunity to be like, oh, weird. Maybe we should do something awesome then. Like live up to what our mission is. Did you guys hear about your secret mission? Did you know everyone has a secret mission in life, people? They do. General order number 1 and 2. Love your creator with everything you got, everything. And love your neighbors as you love yourself. Easy. Way too easy. The number 1 cure to this is if you're spending all your time worrying about everyone else in the midst of your deal and helping them with whatever your gifts are, you won't have enough time to be worried about what your deals are. And guess what? Nobody here has that much time either. Hopefully that was constructive for you guys. What else do you want to talk about? Yeah, palate changes over time. It's kind of good, but the glass bottles, I think it degrades. Did you know this also has a half-life? Time to open another beer, people. Ready? Lesson. Fulcrum. Placed near cap. Lever. Grabbers. Thirstiness. Pocket. Glass. Tiltage. Carbon dioxide. Balancing management of whatever the hell it's called when the shit wants to bubble out. Self-control of putting the bottle back on the table. Empty. Pretty cool, huh? Yep, pretty talented, you know. This planet is amazing, by the way. Rex, why are you so weird? And you talking about all this weird stuff? And it's like, it can be, like, you could hand me anything that you can find on the, like, give something off the road to someone who's been through an experience. You'll extract whatever you can from that, right? Consider the green crayon, people. Everything in the universe cries out what's going on. Chemistry, right? Chemistry, math, electromagnetic radiation, absorbing your eyeball at a certain frequency. This higher, this is shooting out light faster or at a higher frequency than this one. You know, this is like really slow. This is going to penetrate. This red crayon is going into the phone at a lower wavelength like this. This one's like this. This one will wreck more stuff in a shorter amount of time. This one will sneak through more stuff, longer wavelength, right? Just like sound or other radiation. So this red crayon is getting into your eyeball farther than this blue one. Red and blue? Huh? He's doing codes, people. What am I doing here? If you think that's entertaining, probably better sign up for the Patreon page, okay? Brewski hours are my favorite. Because I do not care. Rex, you're not being, like, you're the gun serious guy that's shooting guns, and you better be serious on your channel, because, like, when gun guys have YouTube channels, they, like, usually, like, act tactical and, like, make sure they're, like, tough. And they're like that guy on frickin' Napoleon Dynamite who throws a football at a certain angle the whole time, like, oh, Carolina State back in 1987, whatever, right? Like, you got to be serious on here. You got to put on the act, you know. I ain't got time for that bullshit. That's exhausting. I'll do whatever I want. How about that? How about that? Yeah, Patreon. VSL, if you have a monocle and a top hat, like the Monopoly guy, you could afford to be on the VSL, where you could be or the Patreon tier. See, there's tiers, like whatever. The VSL is vestibulum scura libertatis. What does that mean? rodeo clown of freedom. It's so expensive, Rex. I can't afford it. Oh, okay. The cheap one is like, hey, Rex, we appreciate your, $500,000 worth of learning all this stuff and telling it to us. We'll buy you a coffee. That's the expert tier. That's like $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. I like coffee. Or a beer. Buying Rex a beer. Thank you. To my latest expert subscriber on Patreon, thank you for this brewski. See, look at how this is multiplying the joy for the entire world. We have this conversation. We create a new community under this conversation based on that deal. You remember those old PBS commercials? Like between the movies where they stop and the guy's like, oh, give me money. That's exactly what I'm doing now, except different with beer, see? You like that one? Oh, I'm getting out of here, Rex. I can't handle it. I'm a communist, and I want everything for free. What the hell movie was that? I want a cherry red Ferrari for free. Adam Sandler. Bedtime stories. Man, that's funny. Or if you want to be in the top secret, elite class, esoteric inner circle, hiding in the basement of a castle with robes class, which we don't do any of that here, you can join the VSL tier, which is like, hey, Rex, we appreciate all that stuff you did that one time and the continued stuff you're doing on Patreon, which is 90% more than on YouTube. I'm over there. I post something every day of the week. YouTube, it's like once every week or once every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's more on YouTube. But Patreon is all that's my effort. And so then you join the VSL, which is the equivalent price of like, hey, Rex, I'm going to buy you a high quality fish and chips dinner at the place and a soda. That's how much that deal costs. Or you can buy rap CDs, man. I understand how exciting that must be. Especially MC Hammer ones. Remember MC Hammer? That guy was pretty awesome one time. Yeah, MC Hammer, right? By the way, can you still get Zuba pants anymore? By the way, this will be my QSL for this video. If you were in the generation that actually wore Zuba pants, and you know how many live mice fit into a pair of Zuba pants from the Nickelodeon commercial, leave your comments below on that one. Then I'll know who is really into the thing around here. If you made it to the end of the video. I'm just trying to demonstrate, okay? I'm trying to demonstrate that, it's not all over. It's not all over. They got good treatment nowadays for most of it. Most of it, you'll fight your way through. It'll hurt a lot and all that shit. Oh, no, it'll hurt a lot. We'll deal with it. Life hurts. Get used to it. Life is pain. Get used to it. It's normal. If you don't make it out of here, bonus points, you get to skip the painful part and just have all the goodness if you select all the goodness that you would have had here, which is strewn about amongst a shitload of pain. All right, well, you skip the pain part. Once you get rid of all that because you're checking out early, all you have is the goodness. You can choose to plug that in over here to your time you have left instead of all this boring shit over here. This is like what you could do. If you would just live to be a million years old, be boring shit that's painful and tiring, punctuated by a couple good things, right? Well, get all the pain stuff out, squish it down, and put it in this small part you have right here, which is called I'm alive right now. I'm still, if you're watching this video, by the way, congratulations. Congratulations, you are alive at the moment right now. If you're watching this video now, you are alive and experiencing something that almost everything in the, think about how profound it is that we are here now having the conscious ability to embrace these concepts because we're still alive and drawing breath. Snip, put into intro. and then put the dinosaur, and then like, oh, hey, Rex, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking ahead. You guys are missing out on the Patreon thing, you know. It's not, it's like, what the hell is this? Quiz question, people. What is this? 5/8 by 24 threads. Anyone know the answer? What model is this from? Then I'll be impressed. Here's a profile. What model is this from? The only reason it's still recorded is because the phone didn't run out of things yet. You can check out if you want. I'm not going to say anything that important. Brewski hour. Brewski hour is a good time. I got a lot done today, guys. I was able to survey my new fangled testing equipment array and reorganize and stratify some of my old systems to make my controls and my methods and materials more consistent across the board for all my different optics reviews so I can organize the information better. And I've been reporting to that. I've been reporting that to you guys for a long time. The optics review stuff qualitatively, like, oh, I like this, or I don't like this, or this is pretty good here, this is pretty good there. It's not just like memory. I log all that stuff. It's all logged, all the classes I do, where there's different stuff. I keep notes on what breaks, what doesn't break, right? If I'm paying attention. Some classes where it's not like centric to do optics, I won't remember it, but yeah. So you can actually quantify everything, man. Like if you're organized, it's like you can quantify the value of your time on this planet, people. Oh, there I go again. Yeah, we have talks like this, man, that are long and drawn out and glorious. And if you need compadre ship or whatever, you can come over and hang with us on the Patreons. But I am actually recording this on Thursday night. Don't tell anybody. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm uploading this on Friday, okay? And you guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest period. Enjoy the treasure you have, okay? Quiz question. Leave your comments on this one for the very end of the video. Treasure. What is your treasure? If you had a suitcase full of gold bars, I bet you there's something you have right now in your life, somebody, something that you have that you would not trade that suitcase full of gold bars for. We're also wealthy. If we're watching this and we're able to hear and see, some people can't see, some people can't hear, some people have their face burned off, some people are freaking like literally in a position where they can't even watch this, okay? But if you have a cell phone, a supercomputer in your pocket or on your wall and you're watching this deal now, kind of blessed. Identify your blessing that you have now, that if you had a suitcase that was so freaking heavy full of actual gold bullion, like in that movie, The Three Kings, like you have a suitcase full of gold or whatever, you would not trade that treasure you have now for the suitcase of gold. You don't need to put names on there, but write it down, man. My treasure is this. For me, family, wife, kid, being able to breathe without being in a Darth Vader suit. That's all stuff I would not trade for however much gold he had. We're very rich. Hope you realize that. And with that, I shall wish you a beautiful rest period. May the force be with you all.